I think that a lot of, in talking with some of the other producers that we have when I'm at the Orfino Farmers Market, we've got to have extra staff, like we said. And so being able to have kind of a separate order pickup area where you're dealing, and then also dealing with the people that are coming through that didn't place pre-orders. So maybe if you had been able to run as a single person in the past, now you can't anymore. And then just making sure all the extra sterilization. I mean, I think we all have across the board had to purchase additional supplies that we didn't have in the past. And then if you weren't online, getting help, spending money to have somebody help get you set up. I mean, a lot of unexpected expenses, but in return, I mean, it's just my second year, but I doubled my business over what I had the year before. And we did hear that a lot of people expected a big drop off, but I know when we were on in our food access working group meetings, people were pleasantly surprised that they'd had their best year ever. So, there's been a lot of eye-awakening moments and a lot of good things, I guess, that came out of it too. And now the dogs are silent.
It's like kids, the dog's talking.
I swear.
When you're talking. So thank you, Susan, for giving that overview. Now we're going to hear from Drew Mossman with Big Canyon Beef, also in the Peck area. Welcome, Drew.
Hi, how are you guys doing today? All right, so I represent Big Canyon Beef. We're a 450 cow operation that on the breaks of the Clearwater there above Peck, pretty close to Miss Susan. We do direct sales to people. We started in the farmers market in Moscow 3 years ago, and that's when we started doing direct consuming. And we do locker beef as well. The pandemic really gave us a huge demand. And what we did in order to supply that demand was we partnered with a friend of mine and we started a processing facility in Osaka, Idaho, where we're able to take care of all of our needs for our customers. And then also there's some other people up in the farmers market that get processed by our company as well. And that's called the Dam Meat Company. It's right by the dam there. So we had a little pun there. That's what we've done to change our strategy with marketing. Like I said, the demand just got so big and so fast. We had to accommodate our customers, otherwise people weren't going to get fed, or they were going to have to go somewhere else. And that's our goal. Is one day we're not quite there yet, is to process all of our own animals to different people locally, as local as we can. Some other things we started doing, we had some customers move away and they still wanted our beef. So what we started doing was a subscription service, almost like a butcher box. And that actually helped us a lot, because as long as we had the name on the animal ahead of time, it did not have to get USDA inspected. So that was a huge deal, because we're not a USDA plant. We'd have to take that all the way down to southern Idaho or middle of Washington, and it's pretty tough to get those accomplished, and they were just as slammed as everybody else. So as far as that goes, that's what needs to be done to feed our communities. As you can see some of my pictures, I got the boys helping me out on the ranch all the time, except for when they go to school. That little man right there would rather not go to school and help me all day. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of what we've done, what we're about. And any questions? That'd be great.
So I've got some questions coming in here. I'll start with, what breed of cattle do you have down there?
We're mostly Black Angus. You can see some of those got some white face. About a third of our bull battery is Hereford. We're trying to get that crossbreeding to and keep our frame size small. As you can see, those cows are covering some pretty steep country, and by doing that, they get around the hills better and just more of a traditional style beef instead of these great big carcasses that people have to deal with. And we're also do a lot of cover crop. That's what that picture there is. And we're really into soil health, and we've been experimenting with regenerative agriculture the last 3 years, and really making some strides on that, and converting more and more of our farm acres to pasture, which is, if you guys know anything about soil health, and trying to get away from the monoculture system and all about providing that soil for the next generations to come, make sure we're not over farming it, utilizing the animals in there. And we've seen some really, really good things coming from the cover crops and the multiple species and the way it reacts with the soil, and implementing the animals to kind of help that along.
Getting a couple questions about your processing facility. How did you decide to do that? And what advice might you have for others? And maybe you could speak to it being not being USDA as well.
Sure. There's custom plants. There's probably 5 or 6 of them within a 100-mile radius around here. I've been friends with a guy that's been involved with it forever, and I've always been trying to talk him into starting a processing facility. So this has actually been going on for 3 or 4 years and it just happened to happen where we ended up pulling the trigger right in the middle of this pandemic. So it was more luck than anything on that side of things. But yeah, I mean, it's a process. It takes a lot of time finding the right shop. We were lucky enough to find a shop that had been closed down for about 4 or 5 years, and got it up and running again. And a lot of the equipment was already there. Looked at several different shops, and it's just a matter of pulling the trigger on it, and put a lot of faith in our partner on that. And he's definitely delivered. I know we got a lot of custom work that we're doing. We're booked up for almost a year now, so there's definitely a demand there, and everybody's seeing it, talking to all the other shop owners and stuff. So the need is there, the demand is there. It's just a matter of getting up and getting going. We're looking at doing a USDA facility. It's going to be a process though. There's a lot of red tape and a lot of government regulations that you have to get through, and we'll probably tackle that next spring here. We kind of wanted to get our feet on the ground and make sure we could keep surviving on the meat cutting plant. So
Colette, do we have time for one more quick one? One more. Can you speak a bit to your other marketing outlets, partnerships like restaurants and Washington State University?
Yes, that's the one thing that has suffered the most. Was we were in several different restaurants, and those WSU just got pretty much completely shut down. We haven't sold much to them at all. A few smaller restaurants, it's way less than what it used to be, but that's okay because our demand picked up so much for the non-inspected products, like the people that are buying the quarters, halves, and wholes and doing the subscription share deal. That had picked up so much that it took, I was short cattle, and I actually had to go, I had just sent some cattle to a feedlot across the country, and about 1 month there, I had to go back and get half of them to bring them back in order to finish them out the way I like to finish them out for my customers. And so that's kind of how luckily we have enough supply. We could do that and accomplish that. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Thank you, Drew. If you have an opportunity, there are a few more questions in the chat. If you want to chat back to folks, that would be great.